Alright, what's up, guys? So today I want to talk about something that happens sometimes. I've seen plenty of people in my fighting game days just say, man, I didn't even get to play. This is dumb. This is supposed to be a two-player game. And you hear it all the time. It's a big meme with, like, commentary teams of certain matches. Like, if somebody gets locked down in the corner and they're just getting mixed to hell and they just keep getting hit and not really doing anything, sometimes the commentators will be like, oh man, he turned it into a one-player game right now, dude. Let him do something. It's important to note that even if you don't feel like you're doing anything, you're just stuck in block and everything else, that you are still playing the game. Don't say that you didn't get to play, because you definitely did. It's a false equivalency to say, man, I just blocked all game, then say, I didn't get to play. Those are two very different things. While you're on defense in a fighting game, you are still making conscious decisions. You are still playing the game. You have to be looking for overhead and know when to stand block. That's you playing. You have to be looking for sweep and low block. That's you playing. Good fighting games tend to give you a lot of defensive options too. Like in a game like Street Fighter Alpha 3, right? You've got alpha counter. That's also really interesting on defense, because then you got to think about, okay, is it worth it for me to get out of the corner right now with an alpha counter, because it's going to not only cost me a bar of meter, it's going to cost my guard bar. So if I get back into this situation, I'm going to be in even worse shape because I'll probably get guard crushed. Things like that. You still have to keep thinking. Games like Guilty Gear, you've got dead angle, also like an alpha counter. You've got faultless defense, which you can, use to push somebody away during their block string and create a gap for you to escape. It's also your job to recognize where there are gaps and where there's inconsistencies in someone's pressure, or what they like to go for while you're in pressure. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, in my opinion, seeing a player with like a solid defensive game plan is more impressive than a really good offensive game plan, right? Like anybody can be good on offense, right? You go into training mode, you practice your combos, whatever. You can be good on offense. I mean, obviously it takes a long time to get really, really good on offense, but regardless of that, anybody can learn combos and learn how to do damage, right? But it's much harder and much more impressive to have a cohesive defensive strategy. Look at players like Goichi. Look at Daigo. Freaking amazing defensive players. Like, look at people who play zoning characters, right? Now, typically, zoners have like amazing offensive options at full screen or at their preferred range or whatever. But once the opponent gets in, they have to have a cohesive defensive strategy to avoid getting blown up until they can like reset to their preferred range, which is why zoners are typically very, very good on defense. It's part of their strategy to playing the character. And again, really, really good fighting games, not even really, really good fighting games, just well-made fighting games give you plenty of options on defense. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who's a Smash player who is, not hype on fighting games because, I can't do anything when I get hit. And that's not saying that directional influence in Smash isn't an interesting mechanic for a game like that. But all I could respond with was, yeah, you got hit. Now it's up to your opponent to finish their combo, and it's up to you, when the combo is finished, think about what you should be doing on defense. The whole time you're getting comboed, you should, one, be getting ready to react in case they drop it, and two, be thinking about what your game plan is on your wake up, or are they going to reset you? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? This was the example I gave him when he was talking about, I like Smash because it's interesting. When you get hit, you can actually directional influence, and you actually get to do stuff while you're getting hit, and it's like, well, take a look at Melty Blood. That little reduce button in the corner above your meter when you're getting hit, that is to reduce damage. If you press in rhythm with the combo you're being hit by, it actually reduces the damage you take. There's plenty of games that give you options while you're getting hit, but mostly what fighting games do is give you options while you're getting pressured to avoid you getting to the point where you're getting hit. And they're all there for you to conceptualize a solid defensive game plan. Now, getting back to the point I'm trying to make, when somebody sits there and has to block forever, or blocks for a long enough time for them to like lose sight of the mix-up, and then they get hit, and then they get reset, and then they get oki. Yeah, and they just get pressured to hell, and eventually they get cracked open if they don't have good defensive options. and then at the end of that match they say, yeah, I didn't even get to play. That's not true. You only are perceiving that you didn't get to play because you didn't get to do a big dumb combo, or you didn't get to hit them enough times, or you didn't get to get out of the corner. You were playing that whole time. And this problem crops up quite often when people focus on offense more than defense. I've had this problem in the past where I've been like, I'll just practice my combos and that's all I'm gonna freaking do. I'm not even gonna worry about like checking to see what I can do in this situation, or seeing where there are gaps in block strings and shit. I'm gonna mash out, or I'm gonna try and jump, or I'm gonna do this. And sometimes that's an okay way to form a defensive game plan, is to just try stuff in a match and see what works. Should I try and shield this? Should I shield bunker it? Can I jump here? Can I mash during this gap? Things like that. You have to be thinking about it all the time. And a lot of the time you'll get blown up, especially if you try to do an offensive option as a defensive option, such as mashing, and it doesn't work, and you get counter hit, and then you eat a bunch of damage, and you learn from that. But I wanted to tell you guys, you're still playing when you're just sitting there blocking. Even when you get perfected, like you didn't get to freaking land one hit on somebody, you still played the game. Like you just made a lot of really, really, really bad decisions, and trust me, I hold a lot of perfects. Just understand that almost every fighting game gives you a slew of defensive options, and there's usually a counterplay to every single thing. If there isn't, then it's a badly designed game, but there is a counterplay to pretty much every kind of pressure when you're in the corner, or every kind of mix-up and things like that, and it's up to you to pay attention to what your opponent likes to do. But the last point I wanted to make about defense and how important it is, and how impressive it is, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, of course, the hypest moment in fighting game history revolved around a defensive mechanic, not an offensive. You see how awesome defense is? Man, all I got to do was parry that whole game. Anyway, this was just a real quick video. You know, I'll probably expand upon this concept a little bit more in it when I have more time, but I did want to talk about this because it's something that I've seen go around a lot, especially for new players. Of course, they're gonna jump in and feel like they don't even get to like do anything because the people they're playing against have been playing probably the fighting game that they just got into for a very, very long time, and they're like, oh, you're just gonna sit there and get wrecked by this crap? Okay, cool. Well, I'm not gonna let you play. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching as always, and peace.